Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the show today, city volunteers in Indonesia are handing out rice and clothes to victims of a recent earthquake in Bogor, West Java. In our in-depth look at invading species in Taiwan, we find out how this non-native species is taking over the Keelung River. And nothing is ever impossible when you dare to dream, as we find out from 3 women who set up their own business at a young age. In Indonesia on September 9th, West Java's Bogor was struck by a 4.8 magnitude earthquake, which damaged 400 households and injured 4 residents. On September 12th, city volunteers arrived at the worst-hit villages to hand out rice and clothes to quake victims, helping a total of 514 families.
During the early morning of September 9th, a 4.0 magnitude earthquake hit the Bogor Regency at a depth of 10 kilometers. Many houses were damaged, even houses with reinforced concrete.
To be able to have a house, my wife and I worked really hard. We were very happy that we finally have a house of our own, but now this.
When the earthquake came, I was very frightened, and I didn't know how to take my children to safety.
The epicenter of the earthquake was located near Bogor Regency. The earthquake damaged more than 400 houses and injured 4 people. Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at the disaster area to do a disaster assessment.
Currently, we need help such as daily necessities, food, instant products, and milk.
After conducting a disaster survey, Tzu Chi volunteers handed out relief supplies at 3 of the worst-hit villages. Each household received 20 kilograms of rice and clean clothes. In total, 514 households received Tzu Chi's help.
Brazil city volunteers held a free clinic and aid distribution in the municipality of São Bernardo do Campo, which is half an hour drive from Sao Paulo. As this was the 2nd free clinic held in the area, the number of people waiting to see the doctor doubled. To ensure all patients receive adequate treatment, team of doctors and volunteers sacrificed their lunchtime to serve more patients.
As the volunteers' car stops by the gate of the nursing home, the seniors approach to greet them. Every month, Tzu Chi volunteers in Brazil pay a visit to remote areas and bring care and happiness to the elderly. The volunteers also visit a local volunteer's house in Kokaya to give Gisele's mother a bedpan chair and also bring the family support.
Take care. We are here to visit you. You have to recover soon so we can do volunteer work together.
As the weather in Brazil is getting warmer, Tzu Chi volunteers take this chance to hold a 2nd free clinic in São Bernardo do Campo. Many people wait in line for the doctors, and in face of the overwhelming number of patients, medical staff postpone their lunchtime.
This is the first time I have seen so many patients. Many of them suffer from gynecological diseases. It is hard to imagine. This is my first time being a volunteer, and I'm very touched.
Another group of volunteers also visited care recipients living in this area. When Selma sees the volunteers coming, she hurries to seek help.
My granddaughter got into a car accident, and the surgical plate in her leg started to show post-surgical rejection. Her leg has started to suppurate, so I'm afraid she may lose her leg.
Soon after Selma discussed her difficulty, the volunteers promised to help and also gave her a warm hug.
I'm so touched for your help, as this is the 2nd time you have helped me. You always provide timely help. Thank you.
The free clinic provided 7 types of medical services. Volunteers also help prescribe glasses and test blood sugar to alleviate the residents' health concerns.
In the Philippines' Quezon City, Tzu Chi held a free dental clinic for the children of Pasong Talom Elementary School. As children love to eat sweets, dentists were not only busy removing cavities, but also educating the youngsters on oral hygiene. The free clinic helped 21 students in filling their cavities and 99 students with teeth removal.
Today, Tzu Chi team of doctors are holding a free dental clinic at Pasong Talom Elementary in Quezon City of the Philippines.
If you like to eat chocolate, remember to brush your teeth afterwards.
As they wait to be seen, the youngsters are taught the proper way to brush their teeth. While nearby, one dentist is tending to Francesca Huteya.
It is because I like to eat sweets. When my tooth aches, I cannot concentrate on my studies. I will cry when it becomes unbearable.
Rosemary Valencia's 2 children are also receiving dental work today. She says normally she would have to spend half a month of her husband's salary on dental fees.
We're thankful because poor people like me can benefit from Tzu Chi's free dental service. This way we can save for other household expenses.
We are very thankful for Tzu Chi for helping these children, as most parents are unable to take them to see a dentist.
Dental staff and Tzu Chi volunteers hope that by providing these services, children can better concentrate on their studies and live a better life.
Many of Taiwan's ecosystems are being taken over by non-native species. In some cases, this is due to the superior adaptation abilities of the invasive species. In other cases, however, it is due to man-made environmental degradations that has killed off most of the wild native wildlife. To get an idea of the depth of this problem, our DaAi TV reporter traveled to the banks of the Kilon River to see how the ecosystem and those animals there are getting along.
The Kilon River runs through the city, but nevertheless, to reach it, one has to climb over the top of a 2-story dike. In temperatures of 34 degrees, we slowly make our way down the riverbanks. Today, the sun is out and there is little wind. Among the river grasses, it is hot and sticky. As we approach the banks, mud is everywhere.
You guys want to get shots of non-native species, right? Everything here is non-native. This is a suckerfish. This one is actually not that big.
Although this particular fish is around 30 centimeters, our guide says that it is not considered large.
This is not a catfish. It comes from South America. It can be distinguished by its flat mouth. Yes, everything here is non-native to Taiwan. It is already doing well here and has spread. Killing a few of the suckerfish will have no impact on the population at large. It is just like the Mozambique tilapia. We can catch one and throw it away, but the river already has so many. We can't just kill everything that is non-native.
In the nets are suckerfish and Mozambique tilapia, among others, with not a native species to be seen. Some scientists say it is too late to change and that we need to accept the fact that the river's ecosystem has changed.
The environment has already been taken over by non-native species, but they still play a part in the ecology. For example, aquatic birds and other life will eat these non-native species. Simply put, the native species can't survive here as we have changed the environment too much.
Above the bridge, traffic is constant, while below, non-native species flourish. This area is a microcosm of most of Taiwan's mid and downriver areas. Here, the waters slow down and the pollution accumulates, leading to a reduction of biodiversity. Even the common turtle has been affected.
The number of infected turtles here is quite high. The outer part of their shell is slowly falling apart. They won't die, but their entire shell is rotting.
With breeding season just finished, we find a favorite feeding ground of the turtles.
I've already recorded all of this. There is a dent here and another dent here.
This is the strip-necked turtle native to Taiwan. This one is about a year old. The red-eared turtle is originally from Brazil. Its numbers have remained stable over the last decade, only making up 15% of the total population, yet problems remain.
We are capturing native turtles and freeing non-native turtles into the rivers. So slowly the red-eared turtle has become the majority in this ecosystem. After the dredging, the native species have mostly died off, and in that space, since the environment can still support life, non-native species have stepped up to fill the void. Regardless if we are talking about fish or turtles, these spots are now being taken over by non-native species.
The invasion of non-native species has not occurred in a vacuum, but is closely connected to the deconstruction of the environment as a consequence of humans' actions.
With creativity and effort, fading industries in Taiwan can be brought back to life. One such example is the trade of calico making. Qiu Chongyu, Cai Wenhui, and Shen Yiyu decided to come together and set up a business of their own while still studying in university. With limited funding, the girls came up with designs and patterns symbolic of the island's culture.
Some people have asked us why we don't start right now. Since now we have nothing to lose, we should set up our own business.
I was really struggling to make a decision because after all, that would mean the end of my studies.
The seemingly simple-looking fabric may look quite different with added patterns.
I realized that these fabrics are my hobby and interest. And in fact, when combining printmaking and fabric, you can easily get calicos.
Getting ready to make calicos early in the morning, the girls' work begins in this printing workshop. Adding a layer of coating on the printing board is the first step to making a pattern.
Taiwan used to be known for its quality textile exports. However, manufacturing for other countries, Taiwan did not have a chance to create its own brand.
It is for that reason that Qiu Chongyu, Cai Wenhui, and Shen Yiyu, each with different skills and abilities, are coming together to realize their dream.
After we graduated from high school, the three of us traveled together and we talked about what we wanted to do for our future.
After the printing board is taken out from the photosensitive machine and rinsed with water, a pattern template is then made. Next, Cai Wenhui scrapes the paint onto the fabric using the template.
Taiwan's old houses, in addition to some architectural elements such as metal windows and bricks.
One may be familiar with this metal window from the old days, or the frequently seen crested minor bird, all of which are used as patterns for the calicos.
I wanted to use these things, whether it is things we hardly notice or have forgotten, and integrate them into our products.
In the three-woman team, Zheng Yiyu is in charge of designing the fabric patterns.
I have always loved traditional and retro things, so that's why I wanted to use these elements that I care about and combine them together. But I don't want to present them in a traditional way. Instead, I want to use new methods of mine to bring back the past.
Step by step and united in their efforts, the girls are slowly but steadily realizing their dreams. However, at first, they planned to wait 10 years before setting up their business. Luckily, it was their teacher who inspired them to seize the moment.
10 years later, we might each have our own business or family or even a certain degree of wealth, so we may be less keen when it comes to pursuing our dreams. But if we establish a business right after we graduate, we will come across many challenges, and this is something that we won't learn in school.
Apart from creating their own brand and becoming financially independent, the girls have a greater dream to pursue.
We wanted to show the world that Taiwan has the ability to design patterns like this, and that we have a language of our own in printmaking.
One of our beloved teamer, Dr. Cai Zhongxian, passed away early yesterday morning at the age of 54. Despite his difficulty in movement, Cai never missed his weekly visits to Yuli Tzu Hospital to provide dental treatment for those living in remote areas. A role model for many in life, Cai Zhongxian continues to be a mentor after death as he donated his body to medical science.
Accompanied by family, Dr. Cai Zhongxian's body arrives at Tzu University's Medical Simulation Center. Chanting the Buddhist scriptures, family and friends turn their sadness into blessings. Family members hope to reunite with Dr. Cai in their next life so they can continue to walk the Bodhisattva path hand in hand. From being admitted to the hospital until the end of his life, Dr. Cai still shown concern for everything and everyone around him. Dr. Cai's students arrived at the Medical Simulation Center with handmade origami stars, hoping to bring blessings to their mentor. Although Dr. Cai can no longer take care of his patients, he has become a silent mentor and in the future will nurture even more doctors.
Next, we look back at the life story of Cai Zhongxian, which has been filmed into a DaAi TV drama named Sunlight Footprint and was first broadcasted in November 2007. Cai has been a polio sufferer since young, and in spite of his own condition, he remained optimistic through life and devoted himself wholeheartedly in helping those in need. Although the doctor has passed on, his friendly smile and love will always stay with us.
This is Cai Zhongxian, who is a well-known doctor in Tzu. In spite of being physically challenged, he never stopped working on behalf of the needy. Wearing his volunteer uniform while beaming a bright smile is how most remember Dr. Cai.
Our family and I are very proud of you. You need to let go.
For all his life, Dr. Cai has been helping patients with their pain. However, he forgot to take care of his own health. 1 month ago, his hepatitis worsened, and during the very end of his life, he decided to dedicate his body to medical science.
Before he was admitted to the hospital, he accompanied Tzu medical students and ate with them. In his heart, these students were as important as his own children. Therefore, he hoped at the end of his life he could become a silent mentor.
Being physically challenged since young, Dr. Tsai understood the pain and suffering patients went through. He also knew nothing is permanent in life, which strengthened his determination to follow the Tzu Chi path.
He dedicated his life to Tzu Chi selflessly. He walked with a cane as he carried his bag to different places to help the needy. It was hard for us to see him working so hard, but he enjoyed every moment of it.
2 months ago, Dr. Tsai and his family moved to Hualien, and he donated his dental clinic to Tzu Chi. Just when he was ready to help even more people in the remote area, he was faced with a serious illness. During the last moments of his life, Dr. Tsai was surrounded by families and friends.
I never thought of him as physically challenged. In my mind, he will always be a student with the brightest smile.
Dr. Tsai's teacher shares with everyone her memories of this wonderful student. Next, Dr. Tsai's wife whispers in his ear and tells him that she hopes they can continue to walk on the Bodhisattva path again in their next life.
In Malaysia's Malacca, Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Cuiping and her sisters have honored their deceased father through vegetarian meals. However, the idea was initially opposed by their mother. After 6 months' effort, the Huang sisters finally convinced their mom to become a vegetarian as well.
These are all vegetarian dishes. We know that if we honor the deceased with vegetarian food, we can lessen their karma and accumulate more blessings for them.
Before replacing the tradition of killing animals as offerings with vegetarian dishes to honor their departed father, Huang Cuiping and her sisters needed to convince their mother first.
When we invite guests to honor the dead, it is inappropriate to treat them with vegetarian meals.
We know that eating meat is not good for the deceased because it returns all the karma to them.
Huang Cuiping and her sisters wanted to encourage their mother to adopt vegetarianism. As a result, many conflicts arose.
I am not good at persuading. I always lose patience when I try to convince my mom. That's not good for the both of us.
We told her that since she has suffered from asthma for a long time, why not try vegetarianism? It may improve her health.
Huang Cuiping began taking her mother to attend events at the Malacca Tzu Chi chapter. Half a year later, her mother finally recognized the benefits of vegetarianism.
Everything in the fridge is vegetarian food.
Her signature dish was braised pork, and now she has turned the meat dish into a vegetarian one. This is really encouraging.
Although Huang Cuiping and her sisters use vegetarian dishes to express their filial piety, they believe that it carries no less weight than meat dishes.
We go to China at the end of our program. This year, the 8th Kunming Asia Agriculture Expo is held from September 19th to 23rd, with over 10 countries and hundreds of businesses taking part. For 3 consecutive years, the organizer have invited Tzu Chi to set up a stall to promote the organization's humanitarian spirit. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.